Well, it's cracking, people. Angelic Mayhem here. So, welcome to Chuck's Challenge 3D. This is one of a plethora of puzzle games that has come out on Steam over the past 2 months. And this one is actually quite good. I have enjoyed it immensely. I've been playing for about 5-6 hours, maybe, something like that. And this game is actually, it has quite a pedigree. This is a game that originally it was a game in 1989, and it was called Chip's Challenge. It was created by a guy named Chuck Somerville. And it was very popular at the time. It was ported over to Windows. It came out originally on the Atari, and then it was ported over to Windows and some of the other systems that were around at the time. And again, it was very popular. So they have kind of resurrected it. Okay, they got Chuck to do more levels. So it is now Chuck's Challenge 3D. And these levels are really good. All right, Chuck is a really good puzzle designer. He knows how to kind of trick you or give you, like, you know, let you see the puzzle in one way, and then when you suddenly realize that, you know, that was a trap, and then you have to go back and do it again, like in the secret way. So, I mean, there's a lot of really cool feints and you know, like unusual out-of-the-box thinking that is required for this game. So I've been enjoying it. I think it's pretty neat. I will tell you, though, that the interface leaves a lot to be desired, but at the end of the day, you're here for the puzzles. You know what I mean? So I'm sure that, you know, most of you can look past them all. I am going to kind of, you know, show you what that's all about. But you know, for now, let's talk about the puzzles. Here we are at the home menu. We have play, create, search. You can actually create your own levels and then have friends play them. Play are the levels that came with the game, which I believe there's 110, 120, something like that. A pretty good selection. And each one is kind of completely different than the one just before it. So some of them will be speed challenges where you have to, like, move your guy really quickly. Others will be strategic challenges where you just kind of sit in place and you look at the board and then you're like, ah, and then you start moving stuff around. So, and you know, because they're all different, you're never, like, pigeonholed with, like, you know, like a bunch of box moving puzzles where you start to get bored after a while. You know, they're all over the place, and they're all very challenging and very, you know, brain twisting, which I think is really neat. Search allows you to look through the puzzles that have been created by people who are online, and then there is one puzzle every week that is particularly gnarly that people, you know, they recommend, and then you can play that. Hats allows you to change the hat on your head. As you unlock different sections of the game, you get new hats. And we're just going to go with none. And then, now, let's talk about this. This game was originally on the iPhone, all right? And so thus, you have to scroll to get bigger, better things, all right? Now, sadly, they did not look at this game after they took it off the iPhone and say, okay, let's rearrange some things because this is going on the PC, and PC people have different expectations. No, they took it directly from the iPhone and just stuck it up here, which is a pain. It's a huge pain. So, you know, I find that to be a fault with the game, but at the end of the day, how many times are you going to go over here for the help in the settings? You can actually, in the settings menu, you can turn down, you can turn off the music and the sound effects and things like that. I actually didn't realize this before I started this video, so I actually turned them off in my, my Windows bar, but whatever. And then, you know, they have the links to the usual stuff. All right, so we're going to go in here and I'm going to show you some of these games. This game was made by a company called Niffler, by the way. They're based out of London. They're a brand new game company. The only other game that they have is another iPhone game called Ben 10, which is very similar to this game, but it is more like the original Chips Challenge in that it's 8-bit and top-down, and it's very rudimentary. This is 3D and stylized, and it has, you know, like a lot of very interesting things to it. There's also a storyline to this game. I never actually played Ben 10, so I don't know if... yes, I would like controller. It will ask you if you want to use the controller every time you load this game, because again, it was an iPhone game, and it's expecting you to be playing it on an iPhone. We go down here like this, and then we go across like that. Boom, puzzle solved. Now, here's where things get a little weird for me, okay? First of all, we got a gold medal. You can barely see it behind this box, okay? And it does not tell you over here what is required to get that gold medal. So I have no idea how much I beat their arbitrary number by. You know, was it 15 seconds? Was it 20 seconds? How long did I have to actually finish this puzzle? And obviously, because I have seen this puzzle several times, okay, I'm able to just finish it in 8 seconds. Well, now my best time is 8 seconds and 86, but that doesn't really mean anything because the first time you go through a puzzle, that's the number that counts. So I find it a little odd that they update the time or at least don't keep your original time because that's really the one that matters. So it says time improved, right? Because obviously I played before, but every now and then when you play a level for the first time, actually time improved will show up even though you've never played it before. So there's some things that could be tweaked in this. Also, so again, it doesn't say gold, silver, or bronze or anything like that. You can go back to, if I click this button here, it will take you back to this screen and then you can see which ones you have the gold, silver, and bronze for and which ones you still just have a bronze for, and then you can go back and try and play that one again. There's all kinds of different types of puzzles. Some of them you're moving stuff around. Some of them you have to move real fast. Some of them you have to avoid enemies. Some of them you have to fill in empty spaces in the void by dropping things off the edge of the level. So there's quite an eclectic mix of different puzzle types, and then they combo them together. So some of them you have to move fast and navigate enemies. Some of them you have to move boxes and work with conveyor belts. And so it's all kinds of different stuff. If by chance you get stuck on a level, you can just you can click the button to go to the next one. Okay, you do that by, so you hit pause, right? And then let's say you're playing this puzzle and it's going on for 3, 4, 5 minutes, and you're like, I just want to move on. So you go down here, you click next. You can also restart the puzzle by going here. I really wish that there was a restart button right here because clicking here and then clicking here is just one too many clicks. You know what I mean? Also, every now and then, trying to go back, every now and then when you click on here, right, it won't pull up the menu right away. So now you have to click on here to pause the game, then click on here to bring up the menu, then click on there to hit reset. And that's just a pain. That is a real pain. All right, so we're going to go like this and get a level. Info, by the way, just gives you the name of the level that you're playing and who designed it. That only really applies, all of these were designed by Chuck, but where that would apply is if you were playing a creative level, one that was created by another human being, you could actually see what that person's name is. All right, so again, I'm a big fan of the puzzles in this game. I think they're really good, and like when you start getting down here into some of these other ones, they really start to get crazy challenging. I am going to go over here just to show you Create real quick. Oh, I want a new hat. There you go. This is the Create menu. There are 2 pluses in the upper left-hand corner. Originally, I didn't know why that was, but it turns out that you can actually, let's say you want red blocks and then you want yellow buttons, all right? You can have them both open at the same time so that you can just switch between them. I guess that's whatever it is. It's weird. But anyway, there's a little erase button here, so if you don't like something that's here. You can't erase like the actual tiles that way. You have to actually hit plus and then find in here where it like takes them away or whatever. There it is. So you can go like that, and then you design your own puzzle, and then you can post it to the internet so that people can play it, and you can also give it to your friends. Going to, how do I get out of this? Do I scroll? Do I move? Is it this one? Ah, here we go. All right, so save, share, etc., etc., etc. Open, home, out. Yes, I'm done. In terms of the interface, obviously, we talked about having to scroll from side to side. I find that to be ragingly annoying. Also, there are times where, like, let's say you're playing a level, okay, and it's a speed level. So you have to move from point A to point B, looping around a wall and avoiding a bad guy, okay, which requires split-second timing. If you're off by even a fraction of a second, the bad guy might kill you, all right, and then you just have to hit undo and try it again. The problem is, if you die probably like 10 or 12 or who knows how many times, but after a certain number of times, while you're playing, now you're not dead yet, okay? While playing and trying to do the split-second puzzle, a little pop-up will kick up, and it'll say, would you like to skip this level? As if, obviously, you're too stupid to finish this on your own, so why don't you move on to another one, and maybe you come back and play this one later. And I'm like, what, are you kidding me? How dare you? So, and because you're in the middle of the level, and it's a timing thing, now you're pretty much dead, because now you have to click on no, and then hope that you can get back in and move your character around, who is now stationary. So, you know, like, there's little things like that pop up in the game that really are kind of annoying. Originally I had a problem that there was no volume, but I just found the volume thing by scrolling to the right. I had no idea that was there. When something pops up, like for instance one of those messages that says, would you like to skip this level, the timer continues to run in the background. So you can actually beat a level, and then when you look it says 3 minutes, 7 minutes, 15 minutes, and then you're like, how can that be? And it turns out that you were making a sandwich or something like that, and even while you hit pause it was still counting. And then finally, there are certain puzzles in the game where you cannot, that are big, okay? They're physically big. There are many, many tiles that you have to cover across. But you can't scroll, you know, like to the other side of the board to see how the board ends, all right? And there's instances where you need information from the other side of the board. So you kind of have to walk over there through all the bad guys to see what's on that side of the board, then come back in order to then plan your strategy and finish off the level. So, and you know, there is a thing where, you know, if you hit plus or minus, you can actually zoom forward or into the puzzle as you see fit. But obviously there's you know, like a limit to how far back you can go. And let me show you this, because this is probably the most annoying part of the game. I'm going to pick any level at random, and I just want to make sure that it's a large one. Let's try this. Maybe we'll get lucky. You can kind of notice it. There are other levels where you would probably be more noticeable. If you notice, down here, there's like a blur, okay? And wherever you go, so yes, I would like to control my guy. So wherever you go, like if you're down here, then it clarifies, but wherever you aren't, blurs out, all right? This can be hugely, hugely annoying when you have a big level, all right? Because the stuff that's up here and the stuff that's down here, you can't really see it too well because it's all blurred out, you know what I mean? Now, obviously, you know, like, they're big animations, so you kind of get what it is, but it would be nice if you could just play the level and you wouldn't have to have this odd quasi camera effect, you know, that's trying to create this false depth of field, which I just think is really weird. It's very, very weird. So, I don't know. Whoop, there we go. So there you go. That is my review of the game. I think again, I think it's a really good puzzle game. If you can get past all the interface stuff and it doesn't really matter to you, if you just focus on the puzzles, it's a whole lot of fun. All right. But if you're a person who's bothered by interface, this is going to drive you nuts. So, you know, I'm just throwing that out there. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please click the like button, share it with your friends, or subscribe to my YouTube channel for more content like this in the future. I'm Angelic Mayhem, and I'll see you next time.